and he was beheaded here on the 13th of February 1542. Hello, and you join me from Marylebone railway station in the centre of London. I've just finished making a video which ended at the station, and I've decided to continue walking on this glorious sunny day. So I'm going to try and make my way down to Tyburn, the former execution site of London, known today as Marble Arch, and hopefully we'll continue and find some great history and some blue plaques as well. But first I need to find Marylebone Church, which is just across on the other side of the Marylebone Road. And this is St Mary's Church, Marylebone, built in 1823 to 1824. And the architect was a man called Robert Smirk. It was built for a cost of £19,955. That's the equivalent to £2.25 million in 2024 values. Lovely brick building with a rounded stone portico, round tower and small dome with a cross on the top. Really lovely church, absolutely beautiful. Lovely little square here as well. The precinct was created to commemorate the Silver Jubilee of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II back in 1977. And there's certainly a lot of people making good use of the square, sitting out and having breakfast. It's busy there, it's busy. I guess everywhere's a Sunday, so everywhere's busy in London on a Sunday. But there's a plaque on the wall here. Let's take a look and see who this one is. Sir Fabian Ware, 1869 to 1949. Founder of the Imperial War Graves Commission. Lived here 1911 to 1919. Yeah, Major General Sir Fabian Arthur Galston Ware. Died on 28th of April 1949. And he was indeed the founder of the Commonwealth War Graves Commission. It's nice to see a plaque. The charity does so much work in keeping the cemeteries in pristine condition, so that we always remember those who have fallen on our behalf in battle. But there's another one here just across the road. William Somerset Maugham, 1874 to 1965, novelist and playwright. Lived here from 1919 to 1923. Gosh, he wrote so many novels and plays, short stories. Born in Paris in 1874. Died in Nice, aged 91, in 1965. Some of his famous books include Of Human Bondage, The Moon, and The Sixpence and the Painted Veil. Really successful author. Nice to see his plaque. Let's walk on a bit further and see what else we can discover on the way down to Tyburn. This is Bryanston Place. Lovely Georgian houses, four-storey Georgian houses around a central gardens. Central gardens are closed off to the general public. Just another of those gardens in London which is for key holders only. It's the gardens for the residents. But it's his name. This square is named after its founder, William Henry Portman, and the village where he used to live in Dorset, the village of Bryanston. So hence its name, Bryanston Square. It's built as part of the family's estate between 1810 and 1815, and it's had a few notable residents over the years, including Wallis Simpson, the future wife of Edward VIII, where she lived here at the square just before his abdication in December 1936. And we have another blue plaque. Mustafa Rashid Pasha, Turkish statesman and reformer, lived here as ambassador in 1839. There's quite a few blue plaques if you know where to look in London. It's quite pleasant here, apart from the noise of the motorcyclists. You hear these people a mile away. What you can't hear is the electric cars, and I've had quite a few of those pass me today, especially when you're trying to cross the road and you don't actually hear the electric cars. There's a nice little fountain here. Who's this one to? William Pitburn, Esquire. Wow. He was a British newspaper editor and the proprietor of the Morning Post. Yeah, interesting. Interesting. You never know what you're going to find when you walk through the streets of London. Always find something different, something interesting, something that you would just walk past without giving it a glance, because it's always there. Gotta cross this road. We'll head down towards Tyburn, the notorious place of execution here in London, which is now known as Marble Arch. It's one of London's busiest junctions. So how am I going to get on filming down there? I've got absolutely no idea. But there again, I filmed walking up O'Connell Street in Dublin, so I'm sure that I can cope with some noise down here. Just crossed over the road, and there's this fantastic memorial and statue to Raol Wallenberg. He was a Swedish diplomat and an architect, but it's his exploits during the Second World War where he made a name for himself. He was one of those brave individuals that rescued over 100,000 men, women and children in occupied Budapest and saved them from the death camps during World War II. Their only crime, these people, was because they were Jewish. But Raoul went in and saved them. When Budapest was taken over by the Russians in January of 1945, Wallenberg disappeared. Went into the gulags on the 17th of January, and nobody heard from him since. Just one of the many thousands of people who permanently disappeared after entering the Russian gulags. Very brave man. There's people like him and Jan Schwartendijk and many others whose stories are just forgotten. We all remember Oskar Schindler, but he's the one that everyone remembers. But there were so many others who did exactly the same thing. But just down here is Marble Arch. And I've walked down to the Cumberland Hotel, built in 1933. And there's a blue plaque on the side here to Jimi Hendrix. Resided here in the 1970s. It's his last known address. Legendary guitarist, composer, artist, pop culture influencer. Absolutely brilliant musician. Absolutely brilliant. But what I've come to see is the memorial to those who were executed here at Tyburn. Named after the river Tyburn, which used to flow all the way down Park Lane. The Marble Arch is called Marble Arch now because of the Marble Arch. This was designed by John Nash in 1827 as a grand entrance to Buckingham Palace. However, it got moved in 1837 due to new construction works at the palace, and it's been here ever since. And this region has now been called Marble Arch. And just to the left of the archway used to stand the Marble Arch Mound. That opened on the 26th of July 2021. It closed in January of 2022. It was actually dubbed as London's worst tourist attraction. And I actually visited it. Well, I thought it was quite a good little attraction. It was a free attraction designed to get people out and about during the COVID pandemic. And the light show underneath really was really good. I'll leave a link to that video in the description below and after this video. But it was a great little attraction. But what I come to see is the memorial here to those who lost their life at Tyburn. On this spot in the middle of this very busy road junction is marked out 3 trees. These represent the Tyburn tree, the 3-pronged gallows which could hang up to 12 people in any one session. This was the main execution site of London from 1196 to 1783. Nearly 1,200 people lost their lives here. Other sites were at Smithfield, Tower Hill, Old Palace Yard, by the Houses of Parliament, St Paul's Cathedral Churchyard, and the Tower of London and Tower Hill. There were so many, but those are just some of the main ones. The first person to lose their life here was William Fitz-Osbert, a citizen of London, executed for his role in the popular uprising of the poor in the spring of 1196. And the last was a highwayman, John Austin, on the 3rd of November, 1783. But there were many others who also lost their life here. And some of them included Oliver Plunkett on the 1st of July, 1681. He was the Primate of Ireland, and he was hung, drawn and quartered here. And his head is on display inside St Peter's Church in Drogheda. I visited there a few years ago and featured Oliver in my video. Absolutely fascinating to see his head on display and look into the eyes of a man who received the worst punishment in British history. Well, I'll look into his eyes, look at the facial expression, I should say. Jack Sheppard was another person, 16th of November 1724. He came from Newgate Prison towards Tyburn. It took 3 hours for his procession to reach here. So many bystanders wishing him well. He was a well-known housebreaker and criminal, quite notorious in his time. And as he made his way through here from Newgate, he'd stop off at a few taverns and have a flagon of ale. One last flagon of ale, one for the road. And that's where the expression comes from. Francis Derham was another person who lost his life here. He was secretary to Catherine Howard, the 5th wife of King Henry VIII. He was hung, drawn and quartered on the 10th of December, 1541. Grim punishment to be given to anybody. And Thomas Culpeper, well, he had an affair with Queen Catherine Howard, and he was beheaded here on the 13th of February 1542. Absolutely amazing to stand here, driven past here on so many occasions, but stand here actually and look at the memorial in the middle here, site of the Tyburn tree, and remember some of those who died, especially William Fitz-Osbert, who died for helping the poor. We all try and do that. I try and do my bit to help the poor, even if it's just giving to a local food bank, as I did yesterday. But yeah, so many people lost their life in London, so many here and so many other locations as well. But let's walk around to the other side of Marble Arch. had a really enjoyable time just walking down here from Marylebone railway station, seeing those blue plaques, the statue of Raol Wallenberg, and of course the location of the infamous Tyburn tree. This video is a continuation of the previous video, where I walked from Abbey Road all the way down through St John's Wood to Marylebone railway station. I've had a really enjoyable time and I hope you've enjoyed watching it. There are 9 others from London, from different locations around the capital, on my channel for you to watch and enjoy. So don't forget to hit that subscribe button and follow my journey, because there's plenty more to come from London and other places around the world. Thanks for watching.